appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SAU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. Residents who struggle to keep their properties for whatever reason, a new program in the city of Clinton is looking to implement what might just be what they need. Mayor Helen Michalossi reminds that the block-by-block program is something she saw work in Decatur and is hoping to bring a similarly structured program to Clinton.
Block by Block is a program where the city will invest a little bit of money, and then they will also take donations from corporations, individuals, and faith communities to help families who are struggling to maintain their property. So maybe you have a property where they need a dumpster and they need some volunteers to come in and fill that and come in and tear out trees or shrubbery that needs just cleaning up a property and changing that curb appeal for that family. I volunteered with it in Macon County in the past. It's called Block by Block because you can literally go down a street, pick a street. People will sign up. Mm-hmm. They'll reach out to me and we will sign you up and to be considered to be a part of the program.
City Administrator Tony Harris indicates that with the city's budget process beginning, they are starting to take a look at what it would take to make this program happen from a funding perspective.
And you said a little bit of money, but a whole lot of labor. Labor's more than
that's absolutely right. Because when you're buying some rock and mulch and some bushes to throw in somebody's yard or a couple of pots, that's one thing. But Tony's absolutely right. We're going to be looking for businesses and individuals and faith communities. And we've already had 2 faith communities reach out and say, how can we help? We're going to want to be a part of this. It takes about 8 or 10 volunteers per property usually. Mm-hmm. But you can do 10 properties in a day.
Mayor Michalossi indicates they found that residents they helped in Decatur continued to maintain their properties well after they received assistance.
Statistically, they keep the properties up. In Decatur, where we did it, years later, I ran into a woman who said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry." She said, "Well, you did my house. You helped redo my house. That was years ago." And she said, "It still looks the same. It still looks good."
For the mayor and Harris believe this program would continue to build on the many positive things happening for the city of Clinton in 2026. As the spring fishing season starts to kick into high gear with nicer weather looming, local outdoor authorities are reminding fishermen to get those licenses renewed. Illinois Department of Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman reminds fishermen to check and make sure those 3-year licenses are still valid as they annually expire at the end of March. Additionally, be sure to check on those trout stamps.
I always tell people, make sure you got a trout stamp. Fishing license expire at the end of March. So April 1st, you got to have your new fishing license. If you got a 3-year license, great. Make sure that you're within that 3 years that you bought it. But if you're going to be a trout fisherman, keep trout. You need it. That's an annual thing. You go by and make sure you go get your trout stamp. Just because you bought your 3-year fishing license, it wasn't a 3-year trout stamp either. So.
Officer Workman indicates it will be next week when they will restock Weldon Springs with trout and reminds of some of the regulations around fishing at Weldon Springs.
Getting ready they're going to stock trout here in the next week or so out at Weldon Springs. They stock it. I can't remember if it's twice or once a year. But anyway, they do it in the spring. I don't know if they do a fall stock or not. But we are getting ready to stock it here in about the next week. So if you are going to fish Weldon Springs and you catch a trout, you got to throw it back. You can't possess a trout until the opening of trout season. So beginning of April. Just looked at it, came off my phone the other day. I'd have to go back and check the exact date. But yeah, you can't possess trout until the trout opener. It's always a Saturday morning. I think it's the first full Saturday. I think so. I'd have to go back and look at the exact date. And I'll let you know when we get off here.
We're also coming up on prime mushroom hunting season at Clinton Lake. We'll have more with Officer Workman next week about turkey hunting and mushroom hunting overlap at Clinton Lake in the spring and how to avoid conflicts with the hunters of those respective games. The wait is over as the C.H. Moore Homestead opens its doors for the season on April 1st. Joey Long, director of the museum, explains that starting today, they will be open 6 days a week and available for daily tours. With it being America's 250th birthday this year, the museum has a full slate of patriotic events for the year.
Well, April 1st, as you know, is the opening day. So that's when we throw the doors open for another season. And so we are open 6 days a week. We offer daily tours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Sure.
And 1 to 5 p.m. on Sundays. This year, nothing on April 1st, but the first big event that we have scheduled, and with this being the 250, we have a lot of events scheduled this year. We're really making this into a community celebration. So the first event will be, it's pretty neat. We have Mr. Moore's piano that dates to the 1880s. It's not been in playable condition for many, many decades, possibly a century. We don't know. And someone's working on restoring that. So at the end of April, we plan on having be like an open house, serving wine and cheese and whatnot. And we'll have a pianist bringing that old piano to life.
Lincoln historian Guy Fraker will be returning to the Homestead this spring to talk about the 16th president and his passion for the Declaration of Independence and what it meant to him and the country during that time.
Well, we talked a little bit, I believe, last month about having Mr. Fraker back. So Guy Fraker is a Lincoln historian and author. He's published many scholarly works on Lincoln, and he's also a very dear friend of mine and a member of the DeWitt County Museum Association. So he will be coming back to the museum in May, and that'll be May 3rd at 1:30 in the Carriage Barn. And this presentation is called Lincoln and the Light of the Declaration of Independence. Kind of a presentation in regards to Abraham Lincoln's reverence for that document and the men who created it, and how his respect for that document and the men that created it kind of, served to help him through some of our darkest times. So that'll be a very interesting event. So that's coming up in May.
In early June, Long states that they will welcome the author of Images of America, DeWitt County, Maureen Holtz, to do a book signing. Long notes that many of the images from the book come from the museum's collection.
We have another book signing that's going to take place at the museum this year. The title of the book is Images of America, DeWitt County. So this is one of those Arcadia publishing books. I'm sure everybody's seen them. They take different counties, towns, and whatnot, and collect up the photographs and then create a book about that. So this is being published by Arcadia Publishing. It was written by a lady by the name of Maureen Holtz. And a lot of the images that Maureen used in the book were images that are from the museum's collection. And so we're inviting her in to do a book signing. That's going to be on Sunday, June 7th at 1:30 p.m. So she's going to discuss the different photographs, tell the story behind them, how she selected them.
These are just a few of the full calendar of events from the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum. Learn more and follow along at chmoorehomestead.org or find them on Facebook. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 19 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The Illinois Department of Agriculture is relaunching the iCover program.
That program provides financial incentives to farmers to plant cover crops, supporting earlier establishment methods and the use of new technologies such as aerial seeding and drones. To improve soil health, reduce nutrient loss, and protect water quality across the state. Fields are eligible if they have never had cover crops before or if a new earlier establishment method is used. So the program was paused last summer out of an abundance of caution to protect farmers financially, as federal funding at that time was a little uncertain, and it made it unclear whether participants would be reimbursed. The Illinois Department of Agriculture chose not to move forward until funding was assured. Since then, the department has worked with USDA and NRCS to reopen this important program and reaffirm Illinois' commitment to soil health. An important note that all previous applicants from last year's program will need to submit a new application to be considered for funding for this year's program.
IDOA's Michelle Kirby says they have secured $7 million from USDA NRCS to relaunch the program. Pre-enrollment starts today, April 1st. More information at agr.illinois.gov. Select the iCover program link. County fair season is approaching, meaning contestants may be considering entering their local county fair queen pageant. Here's advice from reigning Miss Illinois County Fair Queen, Krista Phillips.
Go for it. I think you're at the time in your life where you just need to take chances and go after every opportunity you can. So whether that's just attending your fair and getting to know more about your community and agriculture, or even trying out a pageant if you're a young girl, I think there's a lot of different opportunities you can take, and that'll help you in the future. I was apprehensive. My older sisters did it before me, so that gave me a lot more confidence. I could watch them, and then I did it myself.
Phillips is from Effingham County and is finishing up her senior year at the University of Illinois. The recent National Agriculture Day and Week celebrations serve as more than a reminder one time of year, but how important farming and ranching is to our nation on multiple levels each day. Rod Bain discusses the celebration of U.S. agriculture and its consideration every day in this edition of Agriculture USA. Now for your local obituaries. Cheryl M. Aggie, 59, of Maroa, passed away at her home surrounded by her family on Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. Memorials may be made to the Maroa Forsyth High School baseball program. Graveside services for Cheryl will be held Saturday, April 25th, at 11 a.m. at the Maroa Township Cemetery, and will be followed by a celebration of life at the Maroa Community Center at 119 West Main Street in Maroa, Illinois, 61756 at 12 p.m. Peasley Funeral Home in Lincoln is assisting the family with arrangements. Ellen K. Moberly West, 78, of Clinton, passed away at 10:09 p.m. March 28th at Gibson City Hospital in Gibson City, Illinois. Services will be 11 a.m. Friday, April 3rd, 2026 at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with Brent Zastrow officiating. Burial will follow at Mausoleum Park Cemetery in Clinton. Visitation will be 4 to 7 p.m. Thursday, April 2nd at the funeral home. Memorials may be directed to the Clinton Eagles. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is Seth Lawrence, News and Program Director for WHOW and WEZC. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
This is a topic that myself and the other law enforcement leaders that you have on the show frequently are talking about.
It's been really fun. He's a really funny character, and I like the screen time that I get.
Well, we're kind of ground zero for storm development today.
It's going to be Friday, April 3rd. That's Good Friday. We do one Good Friday every year. It's the only one that we host. We know this is going to be a big deal, and we're going to try to do some cool things in Farmer City to help celebrate that.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on your easy choice for soft hits, 95.9 FM WEZC.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Iran war will be the topic of tonight's presidential address to the nation. President Trump has suggested the war is nearing its conclusion, at least as far as the U.S. is concerned. Iran has hit an oil tanker off the coast of Qatar, as well as Kuwait's airport. On the other side, airstrikes have hit underground military targets in Iran. When the Supreme Court hears arguments today on the question of birthright citizenship, President Trump will be in the High Court gallery. He plans to attend those arguments in person. The president has signed an executive order designed to crack down on mail-in voter fraud. The president says mail-in voting has been the subject of rampant cheating. In his words, it's horrible what's gone on. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in positive territory. The Dow futures up 361 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 240. This is SRN News.
Progressive knows you want to get away, but not like too away. You crave the unknown, but also charcuterie boards with 4 types of cheese. And that's exactly why you bought an RV and bundled it with Progressive, because 24/7 protection is one luxury you'll never have to give up. So go ahead, explore the wilderness, all from the comfort of your zero-gravity camp chair. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates of third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's Scott Jennings. You know, child abuse isn't always visible, and it doesn't always happen somewhere else. It happens in communities just like yours. For nearly 70 years, Child Help has been dedicated to the prevention and treatment of child abuse in the United States, providing crisis intervention, education, and services for children facing abuse. By donating just $27, you can save a child from abuse. Support Child Help's life-saving programs today by visiting childhelp.org/Scott. That's childhelp.org/Scott and help save the life of a child today.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. A flood advisory continues. Rain showers likely today, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Highs level off around 54. Winds out of the northeast 10 to 20 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tonight. Thunderstorms likely. Lows level off around 50. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently 43.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Brock Wilson and Josh Bass hit home runs, and Clinton made easy work of Sullivan 15-1 in non-conference high school baseball action on Tuesday in Clinton. Leading 1-0 in the third, Bass blasted an opposite field home run into the wind for a 4-0 Clinton lead. Bass added a run-scoring double in the fourth that capped a 5-run inning to make it 9-0 Maroons. In the fifth inning, Jack Manning plated a run with a sac fly. Then Bass added another run-scoring hit to make it 12-1 Clinton. Wilson put the exclamation mark on the Maroons' rout with a 3-run home run to make it 15-1. Bass finished 4 for 4 with 5 RBIs. Manning and Wilson drove in 3 runs apiece. Brady Stauffer spun 5 innings of 1-run ball for Clinton. He allowed 3 hits, walked 2, and struck out 6. Clinton is 4-3 on the year. They host GCMS today. Hear the action this afternoon on WHOW and all its digital platforms. Game time is 4:30 p.m. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Madison Highland twirled 4 scoreless innings and went 3 for 3 at the plate as Monticello routed Decatur St. Teresa 15-0 in a 4-inning run rule win in non-conference high school softball action in Monticello on Tuesday. Highland drove in 2 and was on base all 4 times with a walk. She struck out 1, walked 1, and permitted 4 hits. Highland was the State Bank of Bement player of the game. Reese Steiger hit a solo home run for the Lady Sages. Isabella Beery had a team-best 3 RBIs with a 2-run single in a 7-run third inning that broke the game open. Allie Widener drove in 2 for Monticello, and Annie Robinson had a double. Decatur St. Teresa drops to 5-4 overall. Monticello goes to 8-2. They will visit Chatham Glenwood on Thursday. Grant Kiger sacrificed Jax Bailey in the top of the 6th for the ultimate winning run, and Monticello rallied past Tri-Valley 4-3 in non-conference high school baseball action on Tuesday in Downs. Grayson Coughlin hit a 3-run home run in the top of the first inning that put the Vikings in front against Kiger. The Sages answered with 3 of their own in the top of the 5th inning. Cole Bassick scored 2 with a base hit to make it 3-2. Koyi Williams promptly doubled in Bassick to tie the game at 3-3. Coughlin struck out 10 in 5 innings of work. He allowed 3 runs on 2 hits and walked 4. Dawson Gatros earned the win from Monticello with 4 innings of shutout ball. He permitted a walk on 3 hits with 3 strikeouts. Monticello is 9-0 on the season. They host GCMS on Friday. Sullivan scored 5 runs in the 6th inning and pulled away from Clinton 7-2 in non-conference high school softball action on Tuesday in Clinton. The Lady Maroons led 2-1 before the Lady Redskins went in front for good. Hadley Humble and Kinsey Sickles had back-to-back run-scoring hits that put the Lady Maroons in front in the 5th. Humble finished 2 for 4. Annalise Thompson, Avery Smith, and Campbell Bass added hits for Clinton. The Lady Maroons dropped to 3-4 overall. They host Shelbyville on Thursday to open Central Illinois Conference play. 3 home runs powered Rochester past Lincoln 13-1 in a 5-inning run rule win for the Rockets on Tuesday in Rochester in non-conference high school baseball action. Sam Ferris, Reese Gade, and A.J. Runkle hit home runs for Rochester. Freshman Grady Rutledge plated the only run for Lincoln in the loss. Owen Comstock tripled for Lincoln's only extra base hit. Carson Komnick, Bryson Valovich, and Chase March had hits for the Rail Splitters. Lincoln goes to 5-4 overall. They visit Chatham Glenwood on Wednesday. The Illinois State baseball program earned a 4-1 victory over in-state rival Illinois Tuesday evening at Duffy Bass Field. With the win, the Redbirds improved to 19-10 overall in 2026. The Redbirds secured the victory after 5 hours and 25 minutes, which was the longest contest of the 2026 season, due to a pair of lightning delays that combined for nearly 3 hours. As inclement weather loomed over normal Illinois, pitching from both staffs excelled early as each offense was limited to 2 hits in the opening 5 innings in the contest. In the top of the 5th, Illinois looked to open scoring in the contest following a leadoff triple to begin the frame. With a runner on third, redshirt sophomore Carson Cormier retired the next 3 batters to maintain a 0-0 score before lightning struck, forcing the contest into its first delay. Following a nearly 2-hour break, the Fighting Illini worked a runner into scoring position to begin the 6th inning after a walk and a wild pitch. With a runner on second, Illinois opened scoring in the contest as a sacrifice bunt attempt led to a Redbird error to make the score 1-0. Despite the deficit, the Redbirds brought the Thunder in the home half of the 6th as Camden Karchewski opened the frame with a leadoff single. Braden Bakes followed with a walk to put the pair of runners on base for Illinois State. With 2 runners on, Graham Mastros delivered the Redbirds' first runs in the contest with an RBI double to even the score at 1-1. Moments later, Luke Stolga added 2 on a triple to give Illinois State a 3-1 lead. In the 7th, Michael Carano Jr. led off the inning with a double to put the runner in scoring position to open the frame. John Shuey made his Illinois State debut, pinch running for Carano Jr. later in the inning, and scored his first run as a Redbird to make the score 4-1, following a sacrifice fly from Mastros. With the lead in hand, Jacob Culp, Shoto Tiger Okamura, and Reese Clapp combined for 3 no-hit innings with a pair of strikeouts to secure the Redbird victory. Griffin Conine hit a 2-run home run in the 8th inning, and the Miami Marlins scored 4 runs in the 4th in a 9-2 win over the Chicago White Sox on Tuesday night.
Munetaka Murakami collected another hit Tuesday, his 5th straight game with a hit.
The 1-1. Murakami with a hard ground ball. That's into center field. Carroll rounding third. He will score. It's 1-0.
Mooney became the 4th Japanese player to start his major league career with a hit in his first 5 games. Alas, Eric Fetty was saddled with a tough luck loss when some outfield miscues, both fielding and throwing, undid an early lead and proved to be the Sox undoing in a 7-2 defeat. The Sox and Marlins get set for a rubber match on Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 11:30 a.m. on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
Chicago's Sandy Alcantara starts against Shane Smith in the series finale on Wednesday. Jose Soriano pitched 2-hit ball over 6 scoreless innings for the second time in 2 starts, and the Los Angeles Angels beat the Chicago Cubs 2-0 on Tuesday night. Logan O'Hoppe hit a 2-run single with 2 outs in the 6th against reliever Phil Manton, and that was all Soriano needed on a cold and windy night at Wrigley Field. The 27-year-old right-hander threw 90 pitches, striking out 4 and walking 2. He was coming off a terrific performance in the Angels' 3-0 win at Houston on opening day. Chase Silseth pitched around a single by Nico Horner and a walk to Moises Bastereros in the 7th. Drew Pomeranz worked 1 1/3 innings against his former team, and Jordan Romano got 2 outs for his second save. Romano walked Dansby Swanson before switching out pinch hitter Michael Conforto to end as the Angels snapped a 3-game skid. Cubs starter Jamison Talon gave up 2 hits over 4 2/3 innings in his season debut. The veteran right-hander exited after intentionally walking Mike Trout to load the bases. Hobie Milner retired Nolan Schoenell on a grounder, ending that threat, but after wasting a big opportunity in the 5th, the Angels broke through in the 6th. They had runners on second and third with 2 outs when O'Hoppe hit a 1-hopper off third baseman Alex Bregman's glove for a 2-run single. Left-handers Matthew Boyd and Yusei Kikuchi start the finale of a 3-game series. Boyd, who was an all-star last season, got tagged for 6 runs over 3 2/3 innings in Chicago's season opening loss to Washington. Kikuchi allowed 2 runs over 4 1/3 innings Friday in the Angels' win in Houston. Ramon Urias launched his first home run with St. Louis, and Andre Palante combined with 4 relievers on a 3-hitter as the St. Louis Cardinals defeated the New York Mets 3-0 on Tuesday night. Ivan Herrera had a 2-run double in the 3rd inning, and Urias drove Richard Lovelady's second pitch over the left center wall in the 7th. Palante pitched 5+ innings, allowing 3 hits and 3 walks while striking out 3. He was lifted for Gordon Graceffo in the 6th after giving up a double to Juan Soto in a walk to Bo Bichetti to start the inning. Graceffo, recalled from AAA Memphis before the game, got Luis Robert Jr. to fly to center and Jared Young to line into a 6-3 double play. Ryan Stanek and Jojo Romero each worked an inning before Riley O'Brien pitched a perfect 9th for his first save this season. J.J. Weatherholt had 2 hits and scored a run. The rookie has reached safely in each of his first 5 Major League games. Kodai Senga allowed 2 runs and 4 hits over 6 innings in an encouraging outing for New York. Senga struck out 9, including the side in the 2nd and 6th. He walked 3. Soto had a pair of hits and has reached safely in all 40 career games against St. Louis. It's the longest streak to begin a career versus the Cardinals. Mets right-hander Freddie Peralta faces left-hander Matthew Liberatore in a rubber game of the series on Wednesday. Kyle Connor scored 33 seconds into overtime to lead the Winnipeg Jets to a 4-3 win over the Chicago Blackhawks on Tuesday night. Josh Morrissey, Isaac Rosen, and Cole Perfetti also scored, and Mark Sheffley added 3 assists for the Jets, who are coming off a 4-2 win over NHL-leading Colorado Avalanche. Tyler Bertuzzi scored twice, and Anton Frondel also scored for Chicago, which has lost 4 in a row. Bertuzzi's wrist shot at 9 minutes and 46 seconds into the 3rd period sent the game into overtime. Connor Hellebuck made 18 saves in the win for the Jets. Spencer Knight made 20 saves for the Blackhawks. The Jets won 66.7% of the faceoffs in the game. The Jets visit Dallas on Thursday, while the Blackhawks start their final road trip of the season at Edmonton on Thursday. In MLB scores from yesterday, the Texas Rangers beat the Baltimore Orioles 8-5, while the Pittsburgh Pirates took down the Cincinnati Reds 8-3. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the Washington Nationals 3-2, and the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Colorado Rockies 5-1. The Athletics took down the Atlanta Braves 5-2, and the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Tampa Bay Rays 6-2. The Houston Astros took down the Boston Red Sox 9-2, while the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Detroit Tigers 7-5. The New York Yankees shut out the Seattle Mariners 5-0, while the San Francisco Giants beat the San Diego Padres 9-3, and the LA Dodgers took down the Cleveland Guardians 4-1. In scores from the NBA last night, the Orlando Magic beat the Phoenix Suns 115-111, while the Charlotte Hornets took down the Brooklyn Nets 117-86. The Milwaukee Bucks routed the Dallas Mavericks 123-99, while the Houston Rockets beat the New York Knicks 111-94. The Detroit Pistons beat the Toronto Raptors 127-116, and the LA Lakers beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 127-113, while the Portland Trailblazers took down the LA Clippers 114-104. In the NHL last night, the Boston Bruins beat the Dallas Stars 6-3, while the Pittsburgh Penguins took down the Detroit Red Wings 5-1. The Montreal Canadiens beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-1, while with the same 4-1 score, the New York Rangers beat the New Jersey Devils. The Buffalo Sabres beat the New York Islanders 4-3, while the Florida Panthers took down the Ottawa Senators 6-3. The Washington Capitals beat the Philadelphia Flyers 6-4, and the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-2, while the Edmonton Oilers